Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. For those new to the channel, my name is Sean, also known as Film Guru, and I started this channel over a particular saying on movies and a variety of film content, so thanks for joining me today. Today I'm reviewing Garth Edwards' first film in 7 years, The Creator. The film stars John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Madeline Yuna, Alison Janney, Ken Watanabe, and a variety of others. The film looks at a future war between the human race and the artificial intelligence that rages on. Ex-Special Forces agent Joshua, played by John David Washington, is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator. The elusive architect of advanced AI, the Creator, has developed a mysterious weapon that has the power to end the war and all of mankind. As Joshua and his team of elite operatives venture into enemy-occupied territory, they soon discover the world-ending weapon is actually an AI in the form of a young child. I think Garth Edwards is a really great filmmaker. Like a friend of mine said, he really understands scale, and I think that comes from his visual effects. He really is able to create big worlds that are wonderfully captured and created. And this is no exception. I just think the world he's created is vast, is very rich and vast. And we get to see the whole world, and we get to see that it's set in the future, but not too far in the future that it hasn't lost the things that us as an audience can connect to. And I like that. I like the introduction of the AI. Beginning, it sort of goes through a history a little bit of how these AIs first began and the part that they play in the war that's unfolding in front of them. I think it was really clever. It sort of puts you right in there, and it makes these AIs very, very real to us as an audience. I think in a lot of ways this film is very relevant with a lot of people's fears around AIs and what they're going to be capable of doing and such. They haven't become robotic like we do see in this film, but I don't think it's too long before that sort of stuff starts to unfold. It's a very of the time kind of film, even though it is set in 30 years from now. You can tell he got a lot of inspiration from other sci-fi films. There's moments in this that feel like Neil Blomkamp's Elysium, and it also has feelings of Blade Runner and Oblivion. Just in its scope and its story and the world building that's going on is very similar to those particular films, which I think he draws a lot from them, but he makes it his own. There has been talk about how the child element to the film is a derivative of other stories, but realistically, there's no way to really create a completely original idea that hasn't come before. It's just how cinema is. But it's about taking those concepts and ideas and shaping them into something that can be kind of looked at in a different way, and that's kind of what Edwards does here with this film, and I love that. There's some really great creative ideas in there regarding particular characters and particular AIs that I really love, and they humanize AIs in a way when you have particular characters speaking with human voices, and I really like that. All the performances are great. It's been a while since I've seen Ken Watanabe, and it's really good to see him in a role like this. And I really wish he got to do more. He's really great in this film, and it kind of reminds me at times of The Last Samurai that he did. It kind of has that similar feel to a character, very moral character doing what he thinks is right, and I like that. Gemma Chan's great. This is her, like, I know she's done other films, but this is like her third big sci-fi movie. I think she really works in this genre. It's kind of interesting the roles she's choosing at the moment. This is definitely one of them. She's not in the film a lot, but the moments she is in it have a huge impact on the characters and the story that unfolds. Alison Janney is playing a character against type. It's kind of a character who's part of the military that you don't quite see her play a lot. And I liked that. It felt refreshing. And she felt capable, and there's a real strength and humanity to the character she's playing, even though there are choices she makes that feel and look and seem very extreme. I was really impressed with John David Washington in this, to tell you the truth. He's an actor I haven't really grown to love. I think he can act, but he's never really blown me away. But his performance in this is so great. It's very real and grounded. Edwards brings out a really wonderful, complex character for us to sort of connect to. And I think he does a really wonderful job, and you really care for him, and you want to go on this journey with him. And he's one of the main things that shine in this movie besides the world that is created. And the other thing that shines in this film is Madeline Yuna. This is her first film. She plays Alfie, this robotic child that she is just so fantastic in this role. She's the heart and soul of this film. She's this beautiful, innocent creature that doesn't quite understand the world that she's been thrust into. And she's relying on Joshua to show her how to be, how to exist in this world. And he's conflicted when he comes in contact with her because of something that happened from his past and the way he feels towards AIs. But in a true sort of fashion, it's the bond that forms between Joshua and Alfie that really draws you in and is a real emotional impact of the film. I thought all their scenes together were absolutely beautiful. I was just so enamored, teary-eyed. I just felt it was so real and powerful and beautiful, and I just love what Edwards was really able to capture with these two characters. Una is a really fascinating young actress. She's only 9 years of age, and her skill at being emotional and crying and just going through particular emotions in this film is extraordinary to watch, and I was really blown away by her performance. Garth Edwards seems to be able to get some really great performances out of actors you don't necessarily think are going to give good performance or haven't done previous, and I think that's a real testament to him as a filmmaker. I was just overly really impressed with this film. I think it's one of the most beautiful films to come out in a while, and it's the most enjoyment I've had in an emotional aspect in a sci-fi film in the cinema in a long time. That's something I really enjoyed about this film. There are little bits and pieces I can see people nitpicking at. For me, it took a little while to get into the story. We're sort of thrown all this information to begin with, and then we're thrust into it, but we don't really see the impact or have any scenes to explain in a bit more detail about what is actually transpiring in the world. And we don't know a lot about Joshua to begin with, but we learn through the film. It isn't until the Joshua character meets Alfie that the film sort of picks up for me. But in saying that, I can see what he was going for. He was trying to introduce us to a world and not go into too much depth about it, and not weigh us down with all this exposition about what the world is and what's going on, but giving us enough information so we understand what's happening. And he does the same thing with certain technology in this film, showing it rather than telling how it works, and we get much more of an understanding through that. But besides that, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed the film from beginning to end, and I thought it was one of the best films I've seen this year. I was so impressed by it. Once it ended and the lights came up, I just turned to my friends and I said, this is one of the most beautiful films I think I've seen. It was such a beautiful and well-crafted movie. And hats off to Edwards for crafting such a wonderful film, and to be away so long and then come back strong with such a great film. It's just really wonderful. The film is filled with some really great sequences. There's one towards the end that takes place on this particular space station, which I really loved. I thought it was really well done. And there's a lot of emotion. Like I mentioned, all the scenes with Joshua and Alfie were really great, and there's some more emotional connection there that you felt for her. You felt for this robotic child because she just felt so human, and I loved that. There is splashes of humor as well, which I didn't expect, which I enjoyed. I look forward to seeing what he does next, to tell you the truth, because I thought this film was great. Final thoughts. In the end, this film's really about talking about what it means to be human. And it's about judgment and how humanity struggles to accept things that are a bit different to them. I'm going to give The Creator 4.5 out of 5. Thoroughly enjoyed it. If you like sci-fi or Garth Edwards films, definitely check this out. It's worth your time. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe down the bottom. Follow my letterbox on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.